We begin in South Korea, where President Yoon has used a surprise late-night TV address to declare martial law. He said it was necessary to protect the country from what he called communist forces. Crowds have gathered outside the country's National Assembly in order to oppose the president's move. Deputies inside the building have passed a resolution calling on the president to reverse the decision. But the military says martial law will stay in place until lifted by the president. Here is the president making that original announcement.
I declare martial law to protect the Free Republic of Korea from the threat of North Korean communist forces, to eradicate the despicable pro-North Korean anti-state forces that are plundering the freedom and happiness of our people, and to protect the free constitutional order.
We can join journalist Fabian Kretschmer, who's on the line from in front of South Korea's National Assembly building in Seoul. Welcome, Fabian. Tell us what you can see and what's going on there.
Yeah, so I'm in front of the National Assembly building. There are a couple of thousand demonstrators still here. Many have already left, but you see them waving flags, shouting slogans, demanding the president to step down. There's a lot of police presence, but so far it is calm. Now, actually, 2 hours earlier, there were smaller clashes between protesters and the police, but really nothing too significant so far. The atmosphere is relatively calm, relatively peaceful, and people stay out here during freezing temperatures and demanding the president to step down.
So the president has declared martial law. Just explain to us what that means in this context. What can and can't happen?
Yeah, so martial law has not been declared in South Korea, probably in the last 4 decades. So the last time it has been declared was during the military dictatorship. So this is really unprecedented, and it's not really clear what this all includes. For example, some university principals said that universities will stay open, etc. So we really have to see how it will develop. But definitely, what is official, what has been confirmed, according to Yonhap, the news agency, is that political activities are banned. That also includes activities by the political parties, and then also, at least officially, the activities by media, by publishing houses, are also restricted. But I'm not really clear what that really implies so far. I mean, I see a lot of reporters here on site who are reporting, who are doing live hits, and I don't see any restrictions on their activities yet. But, I mean, we have to see also tomorrow what the next day will bring.
So what are the communist forces the president says he's protecting the country from?
So the president basically calls the opposition party, the leftist party, pro-North Korea sympathizers, communist forces. But, I mean, he did not give any concrete evidence, or that really all sounds all very vague. And most of the reporters here, most of the also political correspondents, were really caught by surprise by this martial law declaration, and because many see this as domestically motivated. Yeol suffers from really low popularity. There are some corruption scandals. There's some, really also other domestic scandals. And the claim that the opposition is communist and that they are North Korea sympathizers, that is what has been repeatedly stated, but without giving any evidence.
OK, so despite the president's declaration of martial law, the National Assembly, including lawmakers from the president's own party, in the last hour or so voted to lift this. So what happens next?
Yeah, this is totally unclear. I mean, the military has said that, the martial law will, at least for the time being, stay in power. But politically, there has been a vote that it should be reverted. To be honest, I don't see any possible way that this status could last, because President Yoon has also faced harsh criticism from his own party, from the ruling party. The head of the party called this decision to declare martial law wrong, and he voted to stop this martial law with the help of the people. And if you listen to those statements coming from the president's own party, I don't see there's any way that the president can keep up with this martial law, at least not for several more days. I would guess that's at least what I would say based on the things that I know.
Tell us more about the political reaction to this move, Fabian.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest criticism came from the opposition, of course. They were basically calling this decision to declare martial law groundless. They were also, there are increasing calls that the president should step down. And as I also said before, that criticism came also from the ruling party, so from the conservative faction, the faction that the president belongs to. So I would say this is really highly controversial, and also many people inside the political establishment, but also among the normal people, the average people, cannot really understand the reasons that President Yoon Yeol gave for declaring this martial law. It's quite an unpopular decision and caught us all by surprise.
Yeah, and you hinted at an interesting background to this situation. We have a lame duck president who can't get his legislation past an opposition majority in Parliament, and the president has also been hit by scandal. Just fill us in.
Yeah, there were many scandals. One scandal, for example, revolved around his wife. There were corruption allegations. Then, in general, Yoon Yeol became really a very unpopular president for, also economic reasons. People really here think that life has become very expensive. The real estate sector is not going well. And also, especially, there's one more aspect to it, especially young women. They dislike this president for being misogynist. So, there's all kinds of criticism, and the popularity was really, really low. And there was a lot of pressure, and I think probably that was also a thing that motivated him to declare this martial law, because at least in the last weeks, on Saturdays, we've seen already quite massive demonstrations by the opposition. Now, those protests have not made international headlines, but actually you could see it build up. Within the population, there were a lot of tensions, a lot of dissatisfaction with the president, and there were increasingly also the calls that this president should step down.
OK, Fabian, thank you for that. Fabian Kretschmer reporting from Seoul.